and welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I believe we're at 151. Don't quote me on that. That's Kathy's job. She's supposed to be the one figuring that out with her pigtails. Hey, Kathy, what episode are we on?
151.
See, I was right. Sweet. And came back and I was like, I think we're on 151. Waiting for John to come back. Everybody's getting all
Hi,
their stuff
John.
ready. Hey, John. He's John. If you're
I'm
new to the
Kathy.
podcast, welcome to More Than Dice. We talk about all stuff gaming, no matter what it is, and we have a good time. Today is just going to be our after the holidays holiday special. We're going to talk about things that have happened during the holidays, things we want to do, maybe get some New Year's resolutions in there.
Oh,
Um,
hey, let me start out by saying hi, Hinton. Hi, Valendar.
other than that, what else? That's about it. Let's get the business out of the way. We want to thank Muse on Minis for sponsoring us and having a place where we can put our podcast out to everybody. Guys, we have a ton of non-Twitch stuff on our podcast. There is right now a new episode of an RPG that we're recording that myself and another group are playing that is out there that
So
you can
what's
listen to.
the what's the Oh, never mind. I'll wait until you're done with the sponsor.
Okay.
Sorry.
Then so they help us distribute it out there, and also if you buy anything from their store, use the code More Than Dice, all one word. You get a percentage off your order. I believe it's 10 to 15%, depending on what's going on. We also want to thank CreatureCaster. We are a creature creator. They provide some really awesome models, and with them doing the new production of Judgment, keep an eye out on them. Metalhead Minis, of course, Lynn is amazing. She does so much stuff that's incredible. She has some good stuff. She also sells some of our other things that we have, like our um, dice and other things that we have for everybody to play with. And then who else am I missing? Dan. Dan from Tectonic Crest Studios does a lot of laser etched terrain and ability things like that, dials and just everything for laser etched. Really good guy. Go check him out. We have all the links down in our area. So other than that, so Kathy, what was your question now?
What's the RPG about?
We are doing the Rime of the Frost Maiden book, the fifth edition book. It was a pretty big one because it's actually a semi horror D&D campaign.
Okay.
It's about everything's like it's pretty much perpetual darkness where we're at because it's in the frozen north of the Forgotten Realms, Icewind Dale area, and first episode, of course, we all get together as a party and we help track down a serial killer. Our four characters, myself, I'm playing a elven monk. Captain Mizzy is playing a Forge World artificer, and we have a human barbarian, which is Josh is playing, which is Gorga, um, which I accidentally included something into his name, and now it's a running gag through the entire game.
That's
Uh,
what happens.
yep, and then Jackie, I don't know what the actual race is, but she is like a kitsune or whatever, um, a wolf type, a fox type, but I'm not sure what it's called in the D&D setting, and I believe she's a thief.
She's
So,
not a
or
she's
he,
not a
she's playing a he.
hangyoki.
Professional
Tabaxi.
treasure finder.
Yeah,
Oh, tabaxi. Yeah, normally those are cats, but fox, why not?
yeah. So I don't know, but I mean, we my character,
Rouge. Finger Rouge.
yeah, Captain Maisie, she's a rouge. My character's a little insane. He talks to people that aren't there.
It's called role playing there, Gonzo. Just be role playing, not being yourself.
Oh, and then what else? Um, so I mean, he's a bit weird, but
Hey, Scotty.
I accidentally, my character said something, and so now it's a running thing within the campaign that's going along.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, you know how it is. They'll take anything and it'll become a fucking running joke.
Oh, and it's not, it's actually played by NPCs now, so it's kind of hilarious. Hold on, John, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I am drinking a Dark and Stormy, which, for those of you counting, is basically just a mule made with Kraken rum instead of vodka.
I drink that.
I imagine you would. Well, I
In,
refilled
in
alcohol.
fact, I have.
Well, what are you drinking tonight, Kathy?
I am having gin and ginger ale.
Oh, gin and ginger ale.
Hmm
I actually find I prefer ginger beer a lot more. It's weird.
Weird.
Ken is drinking a highball. Oh my gosh, you are like my grandma.
Um,
I have this memory of my parents and my dad's parents just getting together and playing cards, right? Because I grew up in Minnesota and that's what people do or used to do. Is just play cards like 500 or pinochle or stuff like that. And they would always have highballs sitting next to them. That's what they drank or drinked.
I thought they drunk.
they drunked it. Yep, they all drunked it really well.
God damn it! I'm telling you, learning another language is causing my English to be worse.
Look, you're still better than most of the population, so don't feel bad. Trust me, interact with them on the phone.
Especially when that other language has the word drinking as the verb for to drink,
Drinking.
and then drinking or drink or drinked, drinked, drinking, drink. Yeah.
Hey, drink, drank, drunk, sort of like stink, stink, stunk. From
Yeah,
the
yeah.
song
I completely blame Mr. Snowiak, the island painter, for that.
My choice tonight is water. I needed some more water because I had to take some medicine, and so I'm just going to be drinking good old water.
Hey, Nosferatu. Nosferatu's drinking a Black Russian. I like those.
Yeah, those are good.
Sanders has learned German. I'm learning Dutch, which is almost like learning German. Don't slap me, any Dutch people, but I seriously, I love Dutch. I think it's 10 times harder than German. It's because I hear people speak German and I look at German words and then I hear how they're pronounced and I'm like, wow, that's so much easier than I thought it was because I'm trying to pronounce it like with this guttural G like they have in Dutch if there's a G in it. Or SCH in German is like shh and in Dutch it's like it's
Hey,
it's
so, Valor the Red, if you are drinking just a Coke, we call that a sad rum and Coke or a sad Jack and Coke.
That's
Because
fair.
it's just Coke.
It's just Coke.
I drink those at work all the time.
Do we have any shout outs that we need to give in particular that you know of, John?
I was perusing, unless you're a sports person, probably not. I didn't see any notables outside of sports people. Well, I mean, even wrestlers. Brody Lee passed yesterday. He was very young. It's sad. Kevin Green passed, and Casey Jones, who is a Hall of Fame basketball player that if you don't know about, you should probably know about. Because he was badass. He grew up in the area. He came out in the era of segregation, so even more impressive how well he did. All told, look at his record. Sometimes it's impressive. But looking at Wikipedia to see who passed in December of 2020 is sad because there's a lot of more people on there than you hear about from all over the world.
We want to give a shout out. It is our last podcast of 2020. Our next one will be in 2021. We want to give a shout out to everybody that listens and checks out everything. Do what?
We won't see everyone until next year.
So, guys, please be safe out there. Please look after each other. If you want to see something, you want us to look at something, you want us to do anything, just let us know. Hit us up on Facebook or any of our other feeds or tell us here. we're glad to help. Of course, don't forget that Kathy streams Tuesday through Tuesday through Friday, excuse me.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be here on Tuesday, Legionnaires.
Yes. The podcast we won't hear until this will be the last one of 2020. Guys, please look after each other. I just had another friend tell me that they have COVID, and I'm kind of worried about them. Mask up, be safe, look after each other, and have a drink on me. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. And hey, think good thoughts about my my great aunt Rosemary, who caught COVID because she fell and fractured her hip and needed to spend time at a rehab center and caught COVID there.
Whoa.
And she's 101.
Whoa.
So we don't know how that's gonna end.
Hopefully, happily.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hopefully happily. So let's go and switch over to the paint cam. I need to turn on my lights. Dang. I'm running behind. I blame John.
Totally my fault.
Oh, it's your fault.
Like
yes.
That.
It is. John, you're so distracting.
I am.
All right. Okay.
I mean,
glasses on.
I'm a level 37 asshole, so I gotta
37.
keep that up somehow.
I figured you'd be higher than that now.
No, I need to get more time with my mentor, old Navy sailor named of Rich Nixon, and I'm not joking. That was actually his name.
Rix Nixon.
Yeah, learn from him. I got to keep those skills up, and I can't do it at work because I'm on the phone. You can't be an asshole.
Of course.
That's not cool.
He's drinking Left Hand Brewery Nitro Milk Stout. That sounds yummy.
Oh, she showed me that, and I was like, that sounds amazing.
I mean,
Legionnaires is recommending get more vitamin D. It's supposed to help with COVID. I absorbed as much vitamin D as I safely could this summer, sitting out on my front step.
Yeah, there was a thing that came out that said that you should do that.
Yeah, that's
I'm
on our
full up
list
on vitamin D.
For next year. Get some chairs so we can sit outside on the porch. We got a deck in the back. Do some work on the deck. Just sit out there and chill sometimes. That sounds good.
That's pretty much all I did this summer. That was I sat out on the front step.
We had thought at one point, Creekins and I have tried to drag a table out back, get the fire pit going during the cold months, and just role play outside.
That seems like a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought like I want to get the deck, get out there.
You can get those big outdoor space heater things too. A friend of mine has a couple of those to put out on her back patio for when it's cold. For back when we used to all get together.
Back in the old times.
Back in the olden times.
Yes.
In the before times.
Can we set the Wayback Machine for the olden times of 2019? Be all with the Wayback.
No, I need the future. I need the future. See.
Are you sure you want the future?
I am. I'm sure I want the future.
It doesn't exist yet.
I'll get it eventually.
I mean, I try and travel every day.
Before the dark times, says Captain Mizzy. Yes.
Yes.
Legionnaire says your yak robes look more yellow than brown now, Gonzo.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think it's the lighting, and the camera.
You know what?
It's
because they were meant to be saffron. Meant to be saffron, and so every color you paint it is going to end up looking like that.
Well, I've noticed that my camera got mixed up. Something got done, so I'm trying to fix that because I've got some video issues.
Do you need a white balance readjust, or brightness readjust, or both?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. Because you can't see that I've done the hair.
I can kind of see.
Yeah, it's kind of there.
It's never going to show up well just because it's going to be subtle to, a monitor and all that.
Yeah.
But still, it made monitors have enough, or we don't have cameras good enough to show you that quality of stuff.
Yeah.
Could be.
Legionnaires, he's suggesting we go back to the 1990s. But honestly, if I went back to the 1990s, then I wouldn't know any of you. I had tremendous fun in the 1990s, but I like all of the people that I know now, and I would like to, keep them.
Philosophically speaking, you can't go back. It's not worth it. It wouldn't be the same. Better to try and build new, better times here and now with what we have.
That's going a little deep there, John.
You know.
Valendar says some of us like civilian life instead, because he was in the Marines in the 90s.
Well, thanks for your service, Valendar.
Yeah, I was off running away to join the circus, as it were. I always say that when I mean I was on the Renaissance Festival circuit and traveling around the country from fair to fair, spending like 2 months at one fair and then moving on to the next one when it was over. And I did that for, a good portion of the 90s.
Yeah, I was running game stores between managing and such, so not a bad time, but you can't really go back.
The early 90s, I was in the military.
In the early 90s, I was in
best role playing time of my life.
The early 90s, I was cutting meat.
Okay.
Hinton says I tried to join the Army and Marines in the late 80s and early 90s. You tried?
There it is. I'm looking for my brush.
Did you succeed, Hinton?
Pre-Desert Storm, they were starting to get a little picky on who they let in, honestly.
They wouldn't take you. One of my best friends, they wouldn't take him because he had flat feet.
That's when they went in.
But yeah.
Right around Desert Shield and Desert Storm.
I mean, that was kind of what he had wanted to do for a long time, and then when he tried, it was, nope, I have to find something else to do. Instead, he became a philosopher.
Like you do.
Like you do. Which apparently you do, because now there's somebody else I know who was in the military who is now a philosopher. So.
In the military, if you see some shit, what I hear from the guys, that makes you think about the world sometimes.
There was music on MTV. Wait, there was music on MTV in the 90s?
Yes.
Yep.
Because I didn't have a TV in the 90s. I missed a lot of TV things. I would go out and see movies.
I would say late 90s would be when they stopped. Like 97-ish, probably 98-ish.
Oh. Oh, Valendar is posting a controversial opinion. Home Alone is the prequel to Die Hard. Kevin changed his name to John McClane.
No. Home Alone is just Die Hard for kids.
No, yeah. Yeah, kinda.
Just Die Hard for kids.
Yep. We had the age-old discussion of whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I'm like, look, Christmas is integral to it, so yes.
Yeah, it is.
While Lethal Weapon, which takes place at Christmas also, like everything Shane Black does, is not, because you could take Christmas out and no one would ever notice.
I agree.
Home Alone's a Christmas movie. It doesn't really make sense without Christmas.
So one thing I learned about this, Kathy, of doing the undercoating of black, for like the shadow area, not as good. Probably next time I do it, I'll do it with a undercoating of gray, like a darker gray.
Yeah.
Because the the paint does not do good. It does not do really well on black. So I will probably not do it with black on the undercoat. But I did get, I don't know if anybody saw it on our Facebook feed, I did get the new Monument Hobbies primers, so I'll be testing those out this week and see how those go. I got their black and their white one. Should have got their gray one too, but black and white's fine. I can just mix it if I need to. But all right, now I definitely want to do glowy eyes on this guy, so I'm going to set up and get some white on there and make it all whited up on that. Ooh, I needed. Should check.
Glowy eyes.
Make glowy eyes. Where's some good white? Where's my white?
You know, when I see a yak monk with a bicento and glowing eyes, I get the shotgun. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I feel like if I made friends with him, then I wouldn't have to worry about him.
I'm gonna give him the avatar state. Is all. That's all it is.
You know, friendism is good, but do you really trust a yak monk with glowy eyes and a bicento?
Yes.
I know.
Just saying, I have no problem with that.
Like, I don't say I have a problem with it. I'm just saying I ain't necessarily gonna trust motherfucker. I've been accused of being slightly paranoid.
But then I've always had a soft spot for
Yak monks.
Well, not yak monks specifically, but humanoid, bovine, satyrs and minotaurs and so forth.
I did until I played that one level on fucking Diablo. You know what level I'm talking about.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
It is not a lie.
It
I was
does
all good
not
for that.
exist.
I'm like, oh no, it's time. Just
I played that level. Oh yeah. Yes, Valandar.
Then you realize cow people are not so friendly. Plus, there's a song about
Well, I mean, if we were to talk about it like that, then also unicorns and teddy bears aren't friendly either, which is fair, but it's not going to make me stop liking teddy bears.
So, Legiers, I'll be honest. If I see a yak bard with a saxophone, I'm making friends with him now.
Yakety sax.
I love yakety sax. Which Randolph says every time he played it, it almost killed him. Because that is an impressive piece of music on a saxophone when you think about it.
Contrast great.
More than just the Benny Hill music, folks.
What?
Diablo 2 is... I remember playing that a few times with my friends, and that was shortly before 3 came out. And then, so my friends, jumped on 3. They gave me a copy of it, and that's how I ended up playing Diablo 3. I spent many, many hours playing Diablo 3, and now I haven't played it since last year in January.
Oh, wow. I mean, I have never played Diablo 3, but I played the hell out of Diablo and Diablo 2.
I really enjoyed Diablo 3, but yeah, my area, when my painting area was set up on the other side of the room, I didn't really have room to move my laptop, but now it's set up where I possibly could do that again. But when I start playing that, then I stop doing other things that I should be doing. So.
What?
And that's sort of the point of video games. You're doing that, and you're not doing other things. Nah, you're not supposed to do the things you should be doing. Like, even I stop and do the things I should be doing.
Doing some fixing. I'm fixing stuff.
Fixing?
I'm fixing stuff.
Yeah. We had fun decorating Christmas cookies as we do every year.
Did you do that on stream? Because I thought I saw that you did one on stream.
Yes, I did that on Tuesday, and Jim streamed a couple of days of Christmas or cookie decorating as well.
Oh, did you do it with oils?
Of course not. But it's funny because when he was streaming, he was talking about his approach and everything, and it was exactly like how he talks when he's painting miniatures, and it was funny.
I can see that.
I was just doing it and goofing off, but he was all, explaining things and
The viscosity of icing.
Probably, yeah.
I can see him
Which,
doing
I
that.
mean, because we make our own.
Yeah.
So if you add a little more butter, that's going to increase that viscosity. We try and add a little more of the sugar to make it give it a little more body. So yeah, but yeah, that frosting tastes really good, but it has dairy in it, and so I can't eat that unless I have lactate. So
That is unfortunate.
yeah, so I either leave cookies undecorated or I take precautions.
Okay. So since I have some white over here, I'm gonna do and highlight the hair a bit more. Because I put that I did the apothecary white, but I'm going to up highlight the hair a bit. Because
So, Legionnaires, actually, I say you should have rebought Command and Conquer as long as it brings you joy.
Yes.
You got to keep your sanity however you can. Playing a video game keeps you sane. Do some of that.
Oh, I'm not saying anybody shouldn't play video games. I was watching a friend of mine play that game called Paradise Killer, and I went and bought it on Steam because it was on sale. Yeah. I haven't played it yet, but I have it.
I have like 3 or 4 free games from Epic and or Steam that I haven't played yet. Just, I'm one game kind of guy. I'm playing one game, that's sort of what I focus on.
I can see that.
Also, I have not reinstalled Civ on my machine since I got it back from my friend who replaced the hard drive for me.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was in about January last year, or this year, I guess.
Just because it feels like it was last year, it actually was this year.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, to be fair, this year is almost over, so.
Is it? We're expecting the 13th month of 2020 coming up here. Hey, Comic Scotty Potty. Breaking out the painting? Good. You should.
Scotty Potty. Would you be mad at me?
I haven't even planned on watching, and I've set up my paint station. Yay! Painting.
Yeah, if y'all are painting, if you're painting in something, if you're doing something, let us know and put up a little link to your stuff so we can kind of see what you're doing. We like to see other people's work.
Yeah. If people have projects they're working on, throw a link up for your Insta or, wherever it is that you have your pictures.
Just don't spam us with the ability to get us more followers and all that good stuff. Because we don't care.
Legionnaires. He thought you said PlayStation. That's funny. Oh, so you guys, this week when I start streaming again on Tuesday, I will be starting painting my Lovecraft busts that I primed.
Cool.
So I have Cthulhu, I have an Innsmouth fisherman. He's got the Innsmouth look, fishy fishman.
Mm-hmm.
I have what looks like a creature from the Black Lagoon, sort of a monster. And then I have the bust of H.P. Lovecraft himself. And then I also have the Three Ladies of Horror, which is Vampirilla, Lily Munster, and so not really Three Ladies of Horror, but, and then Morticia Addams, but, iconic, women of...
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
This isn't foreshadowing for 2021, is it?
What?
All the Cthulhu stuff you're painting.
Would that be a bad thing?
Yes. Oh, but we joked about the whole greater evil thing. We tried that shit. Look where it got us. We used to make that joke, Cthulhu 2020, when you're tired of voting for the lesser evil. No. We tried the greater evil. That shit does not work. Let's get back to the lesser evil.
Also, that says planning to start a campaign for my kids soon, so I'm doing a quick paint of a bunch of orcs for those first few sessions. Probably won't be anything worth posting.
Everything is
Everything's
worth
worth
posting.
posting.
Yeah, it's fun because,
It's your work.
you
We
know,
like seeing it.
and if you want feedback, you can ask
Yeah.
for feedback. And if you don't want feedback, we will all just shut up.
Yep. I posted something about that earlier. Someone just randomly shared something that got to me on Twitter, and it was basically, is it unacceptable to make fun or ridicule anyone else's painting? There are people that are not as good as you, and people are better than you. It's your job to teach those below you and learn from those above.
It's so true.
Yep, I saw that.
It's
I'm
so
like, I'm
true. And I
that.
hate to look at somebody else's paint job, and when I don't know them and I don't know their journey and where they're at, what their experience level is, how can I judge them? How can I say, if you've only been painting for 2 weeks, or you've only painted 4 models in your life, then you're going to be totally different than somebody who's been painting for 20 years every day of their life.
Yeah.
I can't say that's a bad thing.
I throw little tips their way of painting. I'm like, oh, hey, have you tried doing this? Little things that looks like based on their painting, maybe they don't know.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Dio.
Well, actually, it's got more than 50% not Kathy. It's mostly not Kathy, unfortunately.
It is true. It's mostly not. Can we
You
just
can
mute
mute
that
me?
other person? There are
That'd
2
be
other people,
sad.
although one of them's painting and not talking right now.
Sorry.
Muting me would make me sad.
No, that's fine.
You have a sad John.
I was listening to y'all's critiquing of painting. Yeah, I always want people to share their work. I mean, you just want to show us something cool you're doing, show us something cool you're doing. We don't care.
Says, I mean, I can paint okay, but I'm not spending much time on some poorly sculpted and 3D printed bulk orc fodder for D&D. That's fair.
But honestly, paint fodder is actually something that a lot of us, quote unquote, better painters, we're not good at. I mean, Kathy mentioned this when she saw my just a terrain piece for freaking Marvel Crisis Protocol. Every time she's like, "Oh, that looks done," and then I do more. We have this problem of doing more. So seeing someone like, I love the basic schemes. Like, I did this in 5 minutes. I'm like, that's awesome. God, I need to learn from that because I can't do things in 5 minutes because I start getting like, oh no, this is gonna be this. This is gonna be, and the next thing you know, I'm day 47 of painting fucking an arm on my knight.
Yeah, Scotty says, I learned a lot by painting quick and dirty Frostgrave models. I feel like quick and dirty paint jobs are the best way to really learn because you're doing them fast, but you're also doing them more often. And when you paint more often, you learn more.
Mm-hmm.
When you paint more often, the thing you learned the day before sticks with you the next day. Whereas if you learn something and then you wait for a whole month to paint again, you've forgotten that thing that you learned more than likely.
Yep.
So you do make more progress. Dio wants to know, Kathy, can you say quick and dirty again? Quick and dirty. That's the way I like to paint.
That's not true at all.
Quick and dirty.
I used to be the quick and dirty painter. I just get too caught up in shit now. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but your shit looks good. You've improved quite a bit.
Trying.
But you've been painting more often. So,
yes.
So that stands, that whole, the more often you paint, even if it's only for a half an hour a day, the more you remember of what you learned the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't think you learned anything, you do. You remember little tiny things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little bits here or there. It's coming along. I mean, honestly, I learned a lot painting this night. Next one, if I don't have it glued together, I am not going to glue those arms on. I'm painting those arms separately. There's no two ways about that shit. This is a pain in my ass.
Dio, you missed my reading. I did read on the 23rd. I read Murders in the Rue Morgue by Edgar Allan Poe, and I read a few more short stories by H.P. Lovecraft. And so that was fun. It was fun for me, and it seemed like the people who were in the chat enjoyed it as well. And that is VOD in case anybody wishes to have that as sort of a weird audiobook sort of thing going on in the background sometime.
I mean, it's like having a podcast going in the background. It's a short story instead. That's actually cool.
Paint's not mixed.
Oh, I didn't see Inks posted that link. I get to look. Oh, wow. I'm leaning in.
Leaning in to look at it, yeah.
I'm leaning in, yeah.
I'll be honest, some of the spells are interesting. I have one of the Sigmar ones I haven't fully assembled because it's like a whirlwind of like a whirlwind or cyclone of hammers, and trying to paint the inside of that while it's glued together seems like not a good idea. So I think I'm gonna try and paint it in parts when I eventually get to it. Not that I play a lot of well, anything right now, but Age of Sigmar I didn't play that much of beforehand. If I did, I would probably play Trogs, because Trogs.
Trogs?
I mean,
they
I
still
always
have
asked
those?
for a troll army, and they finally made a troll army, so I bought the troll army. I'm a man of my word, GW. Now just bring back Dogs of War.
Bring
You
back
want
Dogs
all
of
of
War.
John's money? That's how you get back. That's how you get John's money. Dogs of War.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
That was my army back in the day. I had so much of that painted. Everyone was really impressed. Like, man, John's really into this. And then they eventually killed the
Axed
army,
it.
and I'm like, fuck you all.
Yeah, they just
I
did,
love
All those ogre man-eaters.
Well, I haven't played it into like the last editions of Warhammer Fantasy. And as long as there are rules for them, I was playing it. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Armor
Chaos
First.
Dwarves.
Oh yeah, Chaos Dwarves.
My husband did Chaos Dwarves. He
They're always cool. They had a cool little style to them.
He converted all of his because they didn't have the models anymore. So he converted his, and he actually made his. What were the bull centaurs? Is that what they were?
Yep.
So he made those by, God, what did he do? He used toy cows. He got like the tube of vinyl cows at the art store. You know how they have the little tubes of animal toys?
Mm-hmm.
And he chopped those up and just added dwarves and sculpted things on them. And anyways, he's got pictures on his blog about that whole project, but that was funny.
We'd actually talked, me and my crew, about all of us, them all jumping in and helping me paint an army because it was that egregious that they all wanted to see it on the table. It was about, I mean, there was like 50 or 60 Chaos Dwarves in it, and then 400 Hobgoblins with sword and shield.
Oh my god!
And then some bolt throwers and death rockets. They're like, I'm like, I'd never get that painted. Like, we'll help you paint it, John. I'm like, okay, that's tempting. I really wish I took them up on that. That'd have been something. You know, just 400 Hobgoblins. Like, oh look, a flank unit. Here, just play with these 20 Hobgoblins. I don't care. Fucking just go over there. Oh no, there goes 1/20th of my army. I don't fucking care.
400.
Yeah, it was egregious. What do you want?
Yeah, I remember Bill doing that with orcs. Just one huge orc army.
I thought having 80 Noblars was bad.
Well, the thing is like, they were so cheap. For 2 points, you got a Hobgoblin with really good stats for 2 points. I had a Battle Standard Bearer who would sit in the center army and keep some of the ones from running away, maybe. The bolt throwers just sit there and just murder things. The death rockets murder things, and I just throw Hobgoblins at people until they die. And then there's some blunderbuss too, because you cannot have Chaos Dwarves without blunderbusses, because that's what you fucking do.
That's why I like my lead belchers in the Ogre Kingdom's army.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I only have 8 of them. I had like 8 of them, but they're ogre lead belchers. They're giant.
Yeah,
you know.
Significantly bigger than Chaos Dwarves with Blunderbuss.
Yeah, they're adorable. I love them. They were my favorite unit. Well, those and the Yetis. Now I say the Yetis because I modified my Yetis. I thought the heads of the GW metal Yetis were so ugly that I took some of my spare ogre heads, because you end up with spare ogre bull heads.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I cut all the beards and whatnot off of them, and I pinned the ogre head to the neck of the Yeti bodies, and then I green stuffed fur over like everything except the face, so their whole head was covered in fur all the way down to where it met the shoulders. And they're so cute. I mean, I have pictures.
I'll be honest,
I need to take better pictures of them, because and I called them my Bumble Snow Monsters. Because of course I did.
They were not great models. I played them because I liked them. I liked the Ogre Kingdom's army too.
Yeah. The models for those were terrible, but the heads that I made for those Yetis made them have so much more character, and I was kind of proud of that.
I was just afraid of converting cool stuff, because Jibby has a habit of messing with my models. You know, the entire Dogs of War army, and then I had 30 Rough Riders converted, Cadian Rough Riders. You know, Cadian torsos on Kislev legs with lances, and converted characters and all for it, all the sergeants. It was great, and then it don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Well, sad. Yeah, that's how Jim's armies.
Because that was my favorite. You know, just like everyone's like, "Oh, my Marines are big and bad." I'm like, "Yeah, here have some guardsmen and horses, suck it, fuckers." Marines are all big and bad until a guardsman on a horse with a giant lance ends their life.
Oh, hi, Petros. Petros isn't who are all these people?
Who are these fuckers that come in on Sunday ruining Kathy's stream?
This is the podcast.
What, you wear your speeder bike helmet? The speeder bike helmet? Have I missed speeder bike helmet?
That's what he calls my painting visor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I can wear a painting visor, but I'm not painting right now. It'd be kind of if it makes you feel better.
John will geek it up with his.
There you go. Does that make you feel better?
That's damn sexy. That is so sexy. Is
that better or worse?
Oh, God. I mean, that's not as bright as if it were in front of me, shining right in my face, but I just imagine that, because I had a light in here that I turned on, and of course it was facing right in my face, and I was like, well, that was a mistake.
So Petros, so it's a good thing that blocks my face. Hardest thing is trying to see, because if I put this down, everything.
Pat, are you saying that you would like my face to be more obscured? Is that what you're telling me?
Don't answer that.
Yeah, no. Like that is.
Look for Admiral Akbar in the room.
What I should be implying?
It's like these jeans make me look fat. Yeah. Don't answer that question.
Actually, it's your stomach that makes you look fat. Jeans ain't helping though. Yeah, Legionnaires, that's bait.
It's the fat that makes you look fat. Yep.
That's what makes me look fat. It's all that fat.
That's because I'm more familiar with the top of your head than your actual face.
That's hilarious.
Well,
you weren't here for my... Oh, wait, did you pop in when I was reading? And I had my face cam was the main camera, because I was just reading and not painting the other day. And not wearing my visor. I thought you were there for a bit. It still doesn't sound any better.
Well, we're not about making it sound better.
You look fat because you're fat.
Yeah, I mean, like when people try to insult me, like, shut up, fat boy. I'm like, oh no, you called me fat. In all my 40 some odd years, I've never heard that before. I will need to take time to reevaluate my life.
I was not aware that I was overweight.
Thank you for clearing that up.
I would have thought when I got on the scale and it said get off, that was a clue.
It's the little red light that says get off, get off, get off, get off.
Or when my cousin lost weight and I'm like, you're half the man I am. Literally. Oh. All about being comfortable with who you are.
My year-end review. There are 30 pounds of nothing out there now that used to be Kathy. And I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Most people on COVID gained weight.
I lost 17.
Well, that's
but I got
you
COVID.
had COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
Worst diet ever. Would not recommend.
No.
would not suggest. No.
No.
I always get somewhat inspired. One of the only stream I watch since I'm working from home a little bit, I get a little chance to watch it here or there. I actually always get inspired by him to try and run because he runs a couple miles every day. Then I realize that shit's not going to work. And it's not anything other than time. You know, when you get off work at 8 p.m. and it's hard to go out and run.
Yeah.
I'd like to find some ways to lose more weight. I'll find something. I stopped drinking soda except when mixed with alcohol. And actually, surprisingly, given my circumstances, I've been drinking less alcohol.
I've been drinking less alcohol,
I got a
too.
stationary bike, and that's what doing that every day. Then I take the 10th day off. So I go for 9 days, take a day off. Go for 9 days, take a day off.
I miss my actual bike in biking places. But that was a long
I
time.
haven't had a bike since the 90s.
Oh no, my mom and I used to go and we'd go and take a day and just bike up the B&A bike trail here and locally. Just have a good day, just biking together. Missed that quite a bit. But that's where it ended when she, when they moved over to the Eastern Shore. Closed rack doubles a treadmill. Yeah, I had a stationary bike that doubles a closed rack. Actually, we had 2 stationary bikes for a while there.
I was thinking treadmill, but then I had a physical therapist tell me that puts more stress on your joints, and he recommended a stationary bike. So that's what I did. I do yoga, and I just do that out of a book in my living room. I never went to a gym for yoga or anything. I got a book and I do the exercises out of the book.
No, that's good.
So
I eat.
That's it.
See, we were trying not to talk about food, Gown, so you had to ruin it.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I
no,
had the greatest steak. I had a filet
Steak
that was just amazing.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
If I was singing the favorite thing song, steak would be part of that.
Yeah. I almost bought a steak today at the grocery store, but I decided against it. I don't get a lot of time to cook. I bought one thing to cook on New Year's Day, since that is the only day I'm going to get off work earlier than 8 p.m.
You need a lot of time to cook a steak, though.
I mean, it's more than 0, because that's how much time I have right now.
Oh, well, that's true.
Literally, I run down, and either Banyan has cooked something, which I am eternally grateful for, or I throw something in the microwave real quick and run back up while it's cooking to, cover work, and then run back down, grab it, and eat it, and hope no one calls while I'm trying to eat. Luckily, they usually don't, but unlike lunch, literally like lunch, if I have to grab lunch and continue to work, everyone loves to call when I'm eating lunch, especially if it's sushi.
Oh, of
Ah.
course. Of
They're
course.
just like, for fuck's sake, people. Like, I ain't take a call in an hour. And suddenly I'm on lunch, like, let's call John!
Uh-huh. Of course.
He's
But,
not doing anything. He just sits on the phone all day.
oh no,
Legionnaire
he's doing
says,
plenty of
I have
things. Well,
confirmation. He won't be having Chinese until the pandemic is over. Now, is that because you're going to a place that's also a buffet? Because my Chinese place down the street is just a takeaway place. You just order it and you take it. There is no, I mean, there's a couple
Buffet.
tables where people used to sit down occasionally, but literally there's like 3 tables. That's it. It's not meant to be a place where you sit and eat. You just ordered, you come in, you pick it up, and you take it away again. And that's a great little place. So if you had a place like that somewhere, well, then there you go.
the one I like to get, so I'll order delivery Chinese from wherever because delivery Chinese is delivery Chinese. It's gonna be meh.
Yep.
But if I want to pick it up, um, the local place that the local sit-down restaurant does takeout too, Sichuan Cafe, and they are, wow, very good. So sometimes when I'm not feeling extra lazy, I'll go pick it up. But all the things I want to eat aren't like deliverable really or takeout. I mean, I guess I could go on Uber Eats or something, but that's not really going to work well for the.
Pat Draws, oh my God, what are you trying to do to me? Sirloins and ribeyes, roundhouse and chuck roast, chicken fried, ground beef and stew meat with noodles, goulash and chili, taco sauce meats. These are a few of my favorite things.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know the bone and rib steak, like a standing rib roast. That was always that's my favorite. That will always be my favorite. Ribeye, of course, being the boneless version, a close second. I like to gnaw on the bone, and in the meat industry, we always said the closer the bone, the sweeter the meat. And the first time I heard that, I busted out laughing.
Because we're
Yeah,
12.
but right, Pat Draws. No lie, the closer the bone, the sweeter the meat. That's a true story right there. And I like to gnaw on the bone.
I like to buy the cuts of meats they say are like, oh, you don't want to buy this cut of meat. No, no, I do want to buy this cut of meat because sure, it's a little harder to work with, but that means it's more cost effective. I don't mind putting a little bit into it.
It's cheap. It's cheap. Just,
And
tenderize the
it's,
shit out of it and marinate it and then
yeah,
slow cook
you
it or
do the right
whatever.
stuff. It's tasty.
Hmm.
Like about eye rounds. And everyone's like, oh, don't buy eye rounds. I'm like,
Eye round is great.
stupid cheap. You just have to actually do something. Not just sear it, throw it in the oven, and you're fucking done. Oh, you mean I actually have to cook it? It's okay. I actually don't dislike cooking. Much to people's surprise, it's more of I don't always have time to do so more than anything. I actually have some pork chops to cook up this week. They're gonna be tasty. I'm gonna cook them up on Friday.
Friday.
I had to look my calendar. I actually have a physical calendar, which you don't think is useful until you're, doing like 3 screens open, doing stuff with people on the phone. And then you have to I need to know what date is what, and you look up like there's a calendar. You're like, oh, it's a godsend.
I like having a physical calendar. I love
Yeah.
my phone calendar, but I also like, in the morning when I'm making coffee or whatever, and I can glance up next to the refrigerator and see my stuff I need to do right there, just to kind of remind me.
Oh, I don't write anything on it. I just have a calendar. I see what
Very
dates
helpful. I absolutely write things on it. I put them in my phone and I write them on the calendar.
No, not that. Sometimes you need to know the date. It's really helpful for checking that stuff. And then sort of how I remembered it was Christmas coming up. I wasn't feeling that. It's like, oh shit, yeah, look, it says right there, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I guess Christmas.
Yeah.
Legionnaires. The last one my parents sent to the butcher when I was home got overfed for 90 days, danced onto the trailer. So when I was cutting meat, I worked at a little butcher shop in Minneapolis called Brotherson's Meats. Doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. It's funny because I was just talking to somebody about this. If they had been able to survive as a business another 15 years, they would have really been appreciated as a boutique, meat market. Nowadays, that's what people want is
Yep.
quality meat. And I can only imagine what these guys are saying when they see people wanting to buy tomahawk steaks with that extra bunch of bone. It's like a rib steak with this huge bone sticking out of it. So
Uh-huh.
you're paying $15 a pound for this giant bone. And back in the day, you were lucky if people were like, well, gosh, there's a lot of bone on that when there's, barely any,
Yep.
bone on a steak. And they're like, well, I don't want to pay for all that bone. Well, you're going to pay a little extra for me to debone this then. And now there's like 6 extra inches sticking out and you're paying $15 a pound for the bone. And man, those guys would have loved that. And I wish they could have made a go of it, but at the time in the 90s, it was a struggle because everybody was shopping for cheap meat at the big grocery stores. So, you know, that was too bad to see them finally have to sell off all their stuff because that place had been around since 1938. It was a really nice old-fashioned butcher shop, mom and pop place, and it was a lot of fun to work there. They were great people, but yeah, we used to get our beef in on the hook, or swinging as they said,
Swinging.
which is front quarters and hind quarters, and then just break them down. So, but yeah, so that's not at all part of the hobby.
But Gonzo started it, so it's Gonzo's fault we're talking about food.
Y'all are talking about steak and beef and butchers.
Really, really, really. I mean, so my local restaurant, the only one I actually go to right now,
Oh,
um,
hey, Bill
barbecue
Robertson.
place, actually has steak as their special, and it's good. But I want like a normal sit down steak,
Yeah.
one cooked by someone more skillful than me. But that will wait. Restaurants, I mean, I hope a lot of these restaurants survive through because they're gonna get so much business from those of us who are just like, I need to eat the good food. I swear, as soon as this is over, we're gonna schedule a an outing to Fogo de Chao, and we're gonna eat. I'm gonna get
How are we doing on time?
about time for media section.
Hey, media. We have lots of media too because we had extra time.
If we had days off, even
watch
John
things.
wants more stuff.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second. Let me get the last bit on this because this is pretty much done for the most part. Besides minor touch-ups and little highlights and cleanups.
Yeah, I say that about something, then 3 days later, I'm still.
Oh, I know. I'm going to put this down and then come back to it like on Wednesday and go, shit.
I love how I post on something. I'm like, oh, I'm working on this part of the night. It'll be done tomorrow. And then 3 days later, all right, finally finished this part.
That's me. Every time I stream, I'm like, oh, wow, I should be able to get this done by the end of this stream. And 2 days later.
Yep.
Yeah, this should only take another half an hour. And then Captain Mizzy comes on and distracts me.
Sorry, Russ, have a snack. A little snack.
Yeah, but I'm really hungry now. Oh, Russ. If we hug you, will it make you feel better? We'll give you
the hug command is available.
We'll just wrap our virtual arms just around you and give you a big old hug and.
All right, that's pretty much.
Sorry.
Okay.
Again, remember, blame Gonzo.
It's always me. Glasses off.
Well, in this case,
Totally
it is
blaming.
actually
Yes,
literally
Captain
you.
Mizzy has help.
What? What's wrong now?
She has V. V and Captain Mizzy. Leaguer Dragon and Captain Mizzy.
Boom.
They like to distract. I wouldn't have it any other way though, because it really makes it fun.
Uh-huh.
Okay, media section. I have 873,422 to review.
I have like, I don't know, like 50.
Dose.
I have like 1, 2, 3. Now, see, there's ones that I have talked about before in the past because I watch them every year because, you know, the holidays.
I actually only have like 4 things, but two of them are video games, so that's how.
I have 2 James Bonds.
What? No, you're not reviewing James Bond stuff.
Wow, 2 games on.
2 Dos James Bond?
And some other stuff. So, Gonzo?
So let me go with something I've been doing. I am trying to finish off my Gundam Perfect Grade model that I had and been putting that together. So I was like, I need to have something in the background, so I can, work on it. Keep me busy, so on and so forth. And so I was like, what's on Netflix that I can binge watch? And I'm like, no, I've already watched everything pretty much. And there's a couple of things.
There's plenty of things.
Ashtray. Yeah, it's an Ashtray Red. I can't remember the name of it. Banyan is he here today? Is he here tonight?
I haven't seen him yet.
Oh.
No, Banyan is not in today.
Okay. Let me see. I'll get a link to it. But it's a perfect grade. Yes, Ashtray Red frame. Yes. I got the perfect grade model. It's my first perfect grade. And so I'm kind of taking my time with it. So I was like, I need to, do it. And of course, it's 50 billion pieces for like 1 toe. So it's, it's pretty big and pretty elaborate. So I decided to put on something I haven't never watched the first 5 seasons of. I've only watched the 6 through 10. And so this episode I'm talking about is SG-1. So I put it on. As everybody knows, it originally was on Showtime, and I never got to see it until it went over to Sci-Fi. And so I figured, what the hell? Of course, this is all in, square framed. This wasn't when they had widescreen. Special effects were down a bit, but not bad. But I mean, definitely nothing compared to now. And of course, I like the story of Star Trek or Stargate. I like the concept of Stargate. I did get to play in the beta of the MMO that they tried to do. I think it makes could be a great sci-fi game. RPG.
Stargate MMO.
They did. There was a Stargate MMO.
Actual fuck.
Yeah, where you played an SG team, and you could play different types, and you jump through Stargates to complete quests and do things. And it was a great concept. I mean, you could go anywhere with it and do anything. That's the reason I think it would make a great RPG, which they do have one, but it's not a very good system. So I was like, I'm gonna go and watch this. I think I'm like 3 into the 3rd season or something, and I was laughing to myself because it's like every other episode starts off with an unauthorized gate dialings coming in. I didn't authorize this. We're not supposed to have anybody coming in for another 48 hours. And it's like every other episode, that's how they start. And I'm like, ugh. And then of course the Daniel explaining on everything. Like everything that comes up, so whenever they meet an alien race or a human from another planet, they're like, yes, we thought Ragnarok's happened, Daniels. Yes, Ragnarok's was the apocalypse of thanks for the follow, was the apocalypse of the Norse time. And it's like Daniel explains every small little thing like every few minutes, and it's just kind of hilarious because it's such a... It's done so often that you're just waiting for it now.
Yeah, it is very.
the comedy is still there. It's still kind of, some dry humor, and of course, Tilk not understand human language, human humor, and stuff even makes it a lot better.
Original Stargate's not funny at all.
There's some
A
lines.
little bit humor, but
Yeah, no, it's not.
Deadly serious at points.
Yeah, which I think is interesting because, like I said, the first few bits, I think it's the first 5 seasons was on Showtime, so they showed nudity and all this other stuff, and it was kind of shocking because I'm used to the other Stargates of season.
Yeah, I watched the Showtime version because we had Showtime at home,
Uh-huh.
and I stopped in the middle of it because this wasn't interesting to me.
I mean, it's interesting enough to me that I'm okay with it. I understand that it is still old school, still of its time. I just love the concept of Stargate, the ability.
Do you want ants? Because that's how you get ants.
Thanks, Hinton, for the subscription. We really appreciate
Hey,
it.
thanks, Hinton.
But it is a bit cheesy. But I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it only gets me like a meh rating because it's dated, but I'm enjoying it. It's very basic, it's very basic sci-fi. Um, there's just so much more that can go on with it. I mean, I know it's a dead series now, but I mean, I also look at it as, man, you could make some really cool new stuff with this. You could do,
It's not. They're still talking about doing stuff with Stargate. Every time I see that, like I said earlier before pre-ramble, it surprises me because I don't know when Stargate became a beloved sci-fi franchise. To me, it was always one of those. Yeah, it was fine. Like it's like a Space 1999. If you liked it, you liked it, but it's not like super beloved by everyone.
Yeah.
I think, and I didn't watch a whole lot of Stargate SG-1, and I didn't watch a whole lot of Stargate Atlantis, but I watched more episodes of Stargate Atlantis, and I enjoyed it more than SG-1.
You're not the only person to say that to me. I've heard people say that. I mean, I'm probably never going to get to them because I'm so far behind on everything. It's
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't go and try and watch the entire series. There's just too much of it.
No, but that's the reason why I've got something to do, and it's plenty of episodes. So I was like, I'm just gonna let it go, go through this, and like I said, I don't know a lot of the original episodes, so it's new to me. Probably when I start getting back into things I remember, I'll be like, okay, I'm done, and ship it off. But it's not bad, but it's not great. I still think that, like I said, the concept of Stargate is amazing. The history and the things that I remember are cool. And of course, I watched all the spin-offs when they came out too. But right now, I only give it it's a meh. It's a 2.5 space herpes type thing, but it's not bad and it's not great. So, other than that, Kathy, what'd you get?
I finished The Mandalorian second season.
Woo-hoo!
Finally.
Excellent.
We're gonna have to do a spoiler review.
We're not gonna talk about that. We'll do a separate one and the new year, just so we don't.
That's fair. That's fair. So, but 2 thumbs up. So, but yeah, we can talk about that one later. And so after that, yesterday I watched finally for the first time. For the first time, The Last Jedi.
Oh, you hadn't seen The Last Jedi?
I hadn't seen it. I had never bothered to see it. So, and I was talking to somebody about The Mandalorian and how it differs so much from the final trilogy. And we were just kind of talking about how they were different, and then no, never mind. That would be a spoilery sort of thing.
Spoiler for The Last Jedi, okay. Spoiler for The Mandalorian, not okay.
It would have been for The Mandalorian, so I'm shutting up. But the Last Jedi. So The Last Jedi. The whole chemistry between Rey and Kylo Ren just felt awkward to me throughout everything. It felt forced and awkward. It felt like it slowed down the pace of every movie. every time they cut to whatever it was the two of them were supposed to be doing. And there were parts of this movie that I felt like were unnecessary, and there were other parts that were really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. There were some really good parts and some really bad parts.
It's
Yeah.
least Star Wars movie too. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Oh.
And for the life of me, I don't understand how two people who are like basically teenagers are wielding this godlike power when everybody else ever has had to sort of work hard, to get to where they could wield that much power.
Hashtag space magic.
Yeah, that was always disappointing to me.
Their handling of the Force is one of the biggest problems with the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, and that was something that was just glaringly distracting to me. It was a distraction because I would sort of be wondering how the hell are these two kids, and I don't care what their destiny is or their bloodline or any of that, that shouldn't matter. I mean, the Emperor, how long had he been alive? How many other people's knowledge had he absorbed, over the course of his lifetime to gain all the power that he had? And she's like this teenager, and she's only just getting in touch with the Force and only just started training. And how? Why? And that was what my brain was saying as I was watching that. So yeah,
what do you give it?
I give it 3 space herpes because there were parts of it that were really cool, but there were other things that just seemed unnecessary and that slowed the pace down. It's like in the second movie where they had the Casino Planet thing, where I was like, that Casino Planet thing would have made a really cool other movie. But as part of this movie, it didn't belong.
So you watched The Rise of Skywalker then? Because The Last Jedi was the one with the casino movie.
She's
the Rise of Skywalker. I'm sorry, yeah, Rise of Skywalker. I watched the last one, whatever the last one was.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. I can't.
I thought that's what you meant.
All these things. They're just like, we're just gonna tack some old name onto this. I'm amazed they didn't have it called Revenge of the Jedi, like Return of the Jedi was supposed to be called.
I think this is the first one where they didn't follow necessarily the plot of the original trilogy, sort of. Like, I know JJ wasn't trying in The Force Awakens, but he did kind of follow the beats of Star Wars. To be fair, though, those are pretty common beats.
Mm-hmm.
It's a standard 3-act structure. And The Last Jedi was like The Empire Strikes Back on steroids as far as downer, and then this luckily did something new, but I'll get to it eventually. I'm watching all those movies. It's going to take a while to get there.
Yep. Legionnaires just watched Rogue One and enjoyed Vader murdering everyone. Rogue One was good. I liked it.
I like Rogue One. I think Vader didn't need to be in it, but I am all for appropriate use of fan service.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't have to be in there, but it was like, fuck yeah.
Like, hey, that's how you do that. That's good fan service.
Yeah.
Just Vader being just badass.
Yep. John, what do you got for us?
Well, I'll start with I'll watch him. I'll mention them in the order I watch, and I also think it's in release date order. The first one I watch is on Amazon Prime for free. It's called Tombstone.
Tombstone.
What does it have to do with Christmas? Fucking nothing. I was just looking for a movie to watch, so I watched Tombstone.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
You know, I'm not sure how historically accurate it is, but don't matter because it's a fucking good time.
There were parts of it that were very unhistorical, and there were other parts that were right on.
Yeah. Very good. The cast is stacked.
Because that's how you get
Oh,
ants.
hey, Hinton. Oh, my God, thanks. Thank you so much for all those gift subs to everybody.
Ants? Because that's how you get ants.
And gift subs. Hinton?
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah,
Do
it
you
is
want ants? Because
hands
that's
down
how you
You're a
get
Val
dainty
ants.
Kilmer's
Hinton.
best role. Like,
Do you
absolutely
want
Val
ants?
Gonna
Kilmer's
go
best.
10 times.
That's how you get
Oh, yeah.
ants.
Sorry, guys. Hinton, that is super
Do
awesome
you
to
want
do that.
ants?
He just
Because
gifted
that's how you get
10
ants.
subs to our channel.
Super cool.
No, that's
No.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want
I wrote
ants?
first month
Because
free. You guys can
that's
go
how
in
you
and
get
continue
ants.
if you want. That would be
I
super
get-
awesome as well.
Look, you guys.
Do you want
I
ants?
just happen to have
Because
this movie
that's
right
how
here.
You get ants.
Hey, I've never purchased it just because I kept catching it on cable or
Do
whatever,
you
and
want ants?
it's worth
Ta-da!
it.
I
That's how
have the
you get
Blu-ray.
ants.
It has a great cast. Just about every person
Do
that
you
cast
want
is.
ants? Because that's
I mean,
how you
you've
get
got
ants.
Billy Bob Thornton and Stephen Lang in
Do you want
minor
ants?
roles
Because
in there.
that's how you get ants.
You got Sam Elliott doing a great job, Bill Paxton doing a solid job. There's so many good actors in there doing a great job. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't need to explain it. It's Tombstone. It's the gunfight at the OK Corral. Watch it. If you're not in love with freaking Val Kilmer's performance, like Kurt Russell did a good job. And actually, there are rumors that Kurt Russell was actually directing it, not the actual director. Name escapes me out right now. It doesn't matter. It's a good, amusing story. It's a little weird at points because there's these non sequiturs that do all lead somewhere. They don't have unfinished plot hooks, and you're not sure what they're trying to
Bean
say.
as Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, Michael Bean. I love Michael Bean. Was in this past season of Mandalorian too.
I saw. Oh my god! And it was fun.
Yeah, I
Say.
mean,
Awesome.
Michael Bean doesn't show up in a lot of movies. I understand he just does what he wants to do. He should get more calls because Michael Bean is great in everything he does. You know, he played Kyle Reese in The Terminator. He played Hicks in Aliens. He was the bad guy in The Abyss. He did a good job with that. Played just the right amount of crazy. Sure, he was leading Navy SEALs. That's not really a big movie, but he was amusing in that. I think he should get more roles. He's great. He's great as Johnny Ringo. Those two steal the show. Like, sure, Kurt Russell does a great job. But those two, whether they play each other every time they're together, just steal the show. Powers Booth is great in it too. It's just a great movie. So just watch it. It's zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
I remember seeing it in the theater. I went with a few friends of mine, and me and my friend Lisa, we went the very next day and saw it again. We sat in the front row so that we could look up and see like 12-foot tall, Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell and Sam Elliott, all of them.
My crew would have gone back in, but it was the midnight showing. We couldn't go back in. I remember we were at Annapolis Mall, and we went out the wrong exit and had to walk all the way around new construction, like 15-minute walk plus to get to our car because we couldn't go back in because it was midnight showing. And we'd walked around the wrong way. So we had to walk all the way around this new construction they were having just to get to where we were back to our cars. We talked about the movie the whole way. It was great. So there you go. Gonzo, what's your number 2?
I did want to bring up, Russ did bring up something in chat that the new Expanse season is out. I haven't started it yet. I was waiting for a few episodes to go in before I do it. But it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's, no one's really talked about it. I just know it's there because this is I think it's the last season, isn't it?
No, they have one more.
Is it one more after this one? Okay.
And they actually stated they're not canceling it.
Correct.
They're going to take a break. It's a great point they brought up. Is like, in this new reality of series, is anything ever canceled? They can always come back and revisit something. It's all made to order now. They can just try and get people back and remake it and continue it if they want to. So I like that explanation also. I'm a season behind on The Expanse, but I think that'll be my next big push. I can watch it on my computer, so I don't have to be on the TV. So that might work for me.
Yeah, I haven't yet watched the new season.
Do I try to watch?
That must have just come out.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think there's only like 2, maybe 3 episodes, depending.
I was lucky to finish. I was lucky to finish season 2 of The Mandalorian, let alone start a new one.
Well, I really want to see it. Like I said, I'm a season behind, but that just means I've got plenty to watch. I'll try and put that next on my list. I know Discovery is at least, February, because we got to watch it on the TV. I don't really get much TV time right now. So, and also me and Banyan want to watch it together, so we're getting the most, enjoyment out of it. So it'll be probably February.
So go to my next one. Of course, on the day it came out, I did watch Wonder Woman 1984. God, that sucked. And I'm going to say it is not the acting. It is not the actors. It is the story. Some of the special effects weren't that great either. Like there was one time they tried to do the, running super fast like Captain America does in the Avengers or whatever that we've seen him, run faster than everybody else. Because, he's on a wire as he's doing it. And they did this for Wonder Woman and it looked bad.
He's actually on a moving carpet. I've seen the Corridor Crew does some stuff where stunts people watch stunt videos, and one of the guys who played the guy who did the main stunt double for Black Panther was in those. So I've seen it lots of times. They have like a moving cart being drugged, so they're running on something that's moving. It's a really cool effect.
Yeah, well, whatever they did, you can tell she's on a wire and she's nowhere near the ground, and it just looks bad. There's a couple of things like that. But I'm going to say right now, the story was horrible. The bad guys did not even feel like bad guys. Bringing back her boyfriend, lover, whatever, it was just so bad. I'm trying not to spoil it, so I'm leaving it alone. But pretty much what you've seen in the trailers is the best part of the entire movie. And it really upset me. I was like, dang it, this kind of stinks. Because, I had good hopes for it because the first one I really liked. Second one, no. Yeah, I would say Legionnaires that the DC curse did strike on this one. I was not happy with it. The Stinger was decent, but it was kind of, you figured it out. You knew it was coming. But it was just, there's so many plot holes. It's not even funny. There's so much in this that just goes way off the deep end that you're just thinking, it was like, this is just not, no. Nope.
Well, I have access. I'll try and get the chance to watch it over the long weekend for the New Year's. We'll see what time I get, but I'll try to give it a watch too, so we can get another viewpoint on it.
Yeah, it was just pretty bad. There are
a lot of people online. Like it is very divisive. I got a lot of people who say like it was good, it was pretty good. A lot of people who are just like it was terrible, it was the worst. And I always get a little worried when people are hyperbolic like that. And I don't know these people. Like a lot of people are on Twitter and all. The people I know in person, Gonzo's the only one who has said that it was bad. Everyone else has said like, yeah, it was pretty good. Like there were, it was a flawed movie, but it wasn't like terrible bad.
Yeah, this is preaching. This is going into like 3.54 bad in Space Herpes. Because I sat down and I was like, all right, what's going on? After I was done.
Bad movies.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know.
The plot was just so bad. Whoever wrote this plot and was going to do it, it does not go well. They did try to do like a Marvel-esque type, feel to the movie, and it just doesn't work. Just go back to what you did, because they've already greenlit Wonder Woman 3 with the same director and stuff, and I'm like, just give it a good story.
So I will point out Jeff Johns and Patty Jenkins with a couple others did the story, so I'm kind of curious where it came in.
I don't know, because there were some Mary Sue moments also where like, I'm Wonder Woman, I can do this. Boom. And you're like,
she's the main character and she's Wonder Woman. You really don't get
okay, there's something in there. There's something in there where she goes, I only tried this once when I was 9 years old, but let me try it now and it's going to work out perfect. And there's like, it's just bad. It's just bad writing.
Well, you've convinced me I do need to see it. So
I'm trying not to spoil anything, but go watch it. It is a DC, and it is, if you have HBO Max, it's free type thing, go watch it. I was just very, very disappointed in it. Sorry. Kathy?
watched Die Hard.
Oh, Christmas movie, huh?
So
Got your Christmas movie in.
yeah, I have a list of them, and I will name them. I watched Holiday Inn with Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby, which is the first one where Bing Crosby sings White Christmas. I watched White Christmas, which is Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, which is made 10 years later and in color, and of course also has, White Christmas in it. And I watched It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve, as we always do. And I watched Die Hard on Christmas Eve also, because that's what you do. But that was the first time I had watched it as a Christmas movie. And I had not seen that movie in, like, I don't know, 20 years. I hadn't seen it in a really long time. And between the Red movies and Hudson Hawk and this one, it reminds me that I did used to like Bruce Willis a whole lot, and I sort of had forgotten how much I liked Bruce Willis just because he's funny and he brings this sort of lightheartedness to these roles that other people would make way more dark and brooding.
They'd go skew too far one. They'd go too dark or they'd go too funny.
Yeah. And he just was like just on point with, like, in all these movies I just mentioned, that I don't know how I ended up watching all these Bruce Willis movies this year, but that's just how it worked out.
You're Bruce Willis.
I'm okay with that. But wow, it was like watching it for the first time because I had like no recollection of a whole bunch of things in it. So that was a lot of fun. And also I learned that in the German dub version of Die Hard, all of the German, if you're German and you're watching it, all of the things that the bad guys say in German are just German. So you totally can understand everything that everybody's saying all the time. Unlike me, who doesn't speak German.
I also don't speak German.
Right. I just felt like that was an interesting little aside as I was
Die
watching
Hard.
it. But yeah, I loved it, and I'll be watching that as a Christmas movie in the future as well.
I'm gonna ask what your rating is, but I'm pretty sure I know.
It's a 0 space for
Yeah,
B
it's a
because
zero.
others fucking everything about it was so much fun. I mean, I was just waiting for Argyle's moment to shine, and he comes in at the end, and
Yep,
it's hilarious. And yeah, just everything about it. Yeah.
well, crap,
And
we're almost out of time there, Gonzo.
yes, we are.
Go ahead with yours, John. Do you have one, a quick one?
Real quick, yeah, I watched Daredevil, the Ben Affleck one.
Oh.
So it's not terrible. I mean, I liked it better in memory than I did rewatching it. It's very comic book. A lot of the scenes they put are trying to be what you'd see in a panel of a comic book. It's sort of like they took Spider-Man, because the first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, had a lot of those moments, but they had a better grasp on it than they did in Daredevil. They went a little too far in Daredevil. Plus, as a funny note, this is the first of 2 times Ben Affleck is going to have to play a superhero who's going to have to confront the fact that people view him as the monster or the bad guy. And it was handled better in this one than in the later movie. Spoiler, that later movie is Batman vs Superman. Don't watch it. But yeah, it's amusing. It's not great. Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin is inspired casting, though. It's great. Ben Affleck does a solid job. From the limited clips I've seen of the Daredevil Netflix series, I think the guy who plays it there is a better fit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But Ben Affleck's not terrible. You've got, oh, God, what's his name? Mandalorian, director of Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
In it as Froggy Nelson, which is amusing. He has a good comedic bit to it. Maybe a little too much at points. Jennifer Garner is fucking terrible. Like, seriously. Yes, indeed, Convict Scotty Potty, Electric Nachos. That's from the Riff Tracks version, which I kind of want to see, honestly. And then the most egregious part of this is Colin Farrell as Bullseye. I don't blame him. Whoever wrote this either directed it, let him do his thing, or wrote him to do that thing, and he did that thing.
Yeah.
And it was fuck awful. And should never let someone do that again. The one point where it would have been okay for someone to get into a costume, they don't get into a costume. They just get that bullseye in his head, and fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's what I guys have with that. With that, I'm going to give it 2.5 space herpes. It's not great. It's a very serviceable movie. You can see where it's better. It does have a pretty good cast overall. I love the homage to all the artists and all. Like, all the boxers are all named after artists. A lot of characters are named after the artists and all that. So that's super cool. But, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we want to appreciate you all coming out and listening to us. Don't forget, Tuesday through Friday, Kathy will be streaming from 3 to 5, doing a bunch of painting. She's doing some busts. Are you going to be doing them oil, or are you going to be doing them normal?
Oil.
All oil.
Yeah.
Oil busts.
I'm
That sounds
doing
dirty.
oil stuff here.
And don't forget.
Also,
Go ahead, Kathy.
I was just going to say, it's for media. I did watch 2 James Bond movies. So watched Man with the Golden Gun and The Spy Who Loved Me.
Need to rewatch Man with the Golden Gun, Christopher Lee.
Oh, the next one up is Moonraker.
Oh, I recall loving that, but I don't know if I'd love it again on a rewatch.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Was there an MST3K of it?
Oh, that would be interesting.
Riff Tracks of it. I gotta find more Riff Tracks ones.
Huh. Anyways.
I'm John.
Happy.
I'm Gonzo. Guys, please take care of yourself. Please be safe. We're actually going to send you over to Zambies once we're done with all the music and the recording is done. So, good night,
Zambies
folks.
paints miniatures, for those who don't know.
Say hi, tell them we sent you.
So there I was. No shit. Knee deep in Bond movies.